Uranus, one of the planets in our solar system, is unique in many ways. It was first discovered by William Herschel in 1781, who was an amateur astronomer at the time. Herschel initially believed that Uranus was a star, but upon further observation, he realized that it was in fact a planet. The discovery of Uranus was significant because it was the first planet to be discovered in modern times. The previous planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, had all been known since ancient times. Herschel's discovery of Uranus expanded our understanding of the solar system and paved the way for future discoveries. The name Uranus has an interesting origin as well. In ancient Greek mythology, Uranus was the god of the sky and the father of Cronus, Saturn, and the grandfather of Zeus, Jupiter. The name Uranus itself comes from the Greek word Uranus, which means sky or heaven. Uranus was originally named Georgium Sidus, George's star, in honor of King George III of England, who was on the throne at the time of Herschel's discovery. However, this name did not catch on outside of England, and other countries and astronomers began referring to the planet as Uranus, the name that eventually became widely accepted. Uranus is unique in many other ways as well. It has an unusual tilt, which causes it to rotate on its side. This means that the planet's poles face the Sun directly at different points in its orbit, leading to extreme seasons. Uranus also has a very cold temperature, averaging around -200 degrees Celsius, and it is the seventh planet from the Sun. Despite its unique features and interesting history, Uranus is one of the least explored planets in our solar system. Only one spacecraft, Voyager 2, has ever visited Uranus, and that was back in 1986. However, scientists continue to study the planet from afar using telescopes and other instruments, and new discoveries about Uranus are still being made to this day. Apart from its unique characteristics and interesting history, Uranus's orbit and observation also make it a fascinating object for astronomers. Uranus orbits the Sun at an average distance of 1.8 billion miles, 2.9 billion kilometers, which is about 19 times farther than the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Due to this distance, it takes Uranus about 84 Earth years to complete one orbit around the Sun. Uranus's orbit is also unique because it is nearly circular, unlike the elliptical orbits of most of the other planets in the solar system. Its axis is tilted at an angle of about 98 degrees relative to the plane of its orbit, which causes the planet to experience extreme seasonal variations. When the northern hemisphere of Uranus is tilted towards the Sun, it experiences a long, 21-year summer season, followed by a 21-year winter season when the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the Sun. Observing Uranus from Earth is challenging due to its distance and faintness. Without a telescope, Uranus appears as a tiny blue-green dot in the night sky, barely visible to the naked eye. The best time to observe Uranus is during its opposition, when it is closest to Earth and its brightness is at its maximum. Continuing on from the previous topics, Uranus's moons and rings are also of great interest to astronomers. Uranus has 27 known moons, with the 5 largest being Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. These moons were first discovered in 1787 by Sir William Herschel, just a few years after he discovered Uranus itself. Miranda is the smallest of the 5 major moons and has an unusual surface marked by deep canyons and ridges. Ariel is the brightest and most reflective of the 5 and is known for its young, smooth surface. Umbriel has a heavily cratered surface and is the darkest of the 5. Titania is the largest of the 5 and has a complex surface marked by canyons, valleys, and impact craters. Oberon is the outermost and largest of the 5 and has a heavily cratered surface similar to Umbriel. In addition to these major moons, Uranus has many smaller moons, some of which were discovered by the Voyager 2 spacecraft. These smaller moons are irregularly shaped and have less distinct features than the major moons. Some of the smaller moons have unusual orbits that are tilted or in the opposite direction to Uranus's rotation. Uranus also has a system of rings, which were first discovered in 1977 by astronomers James Elliott, Edward Dunham, and Douglas Mink. Unlike Saturn's bright and easily visible rings, Uranus's rings are faint and difficult to observe from Earth. They are composed of dark particles, possibly a mixture of rock and ice, and are believed to have been formed by the breakup of small moons or the collision of larger bodies. The rings are divided into several distinct regions, with the innermost ring called the Epsilon ring and the outermost ring called the Mu ring. The rings are also accompanied by a number of ring arcs and dust bands, which are thought to be caused by the gravitational effects of the moons. In recent years, there has been growing interest in exploring Uranus and its moons further, with several proposed missions in the works. One proposed mission, known as the Uranus Pathfinder, would send a spacecraft to study the planet's atmosphere and rings, as well as its moons, in detail. Another proposed mission, the Uranus Orbiter and Probe, would send a spacecraft to orbit Uranus and drop a probe into its atmosphere to study its composition and dynamics. Overall, the study of Uranus has been an ongoing endeavor that has required the dedication and ingenuity of astronomers and scientists around the world. Through their efforts, we have gained a deeper understanding of this distant planet and the complex processes that govern its behavior. First and foremost, Uranus's gravitational influence is felt throughout the solar system. Its immense mass and distance from the Sun make it a key player in the outer solar system, where it interacts with other gas giants like Neptune and Saturn. The gravitational forces of these planets can cause resonances and other complex interactions that can have significant effects on the orbits and trajectories of other objects in the solar system. In addition to its scientific importance, Uranus also has potential value for future space exploration. The planet's distance from the Sun and its cold, dark environment make it a potentially valuable site for studying the outer solar system and testing new technologies for space travel and survival. Future missions to Uranus could also provide valuable information about the planet's interior structure, which is still poorly understood due to the lack of direct observations. Overall, Uranus is an important and intriguing object in our solar system, with a rich history of scientific exploration and discovery. From its discovery over 2 centuries ago to the present day, astronomers and scientists have continued to uncover new insights into this distant planet and its complex interactions with the rest of the solar system. As we continue to push the boundaries of space exploration, Uranus is sure to remain a key target for future missions and scientific discoveries. Thank you for following along with the exploration of Uranus in this video. We've covered a lot of ground, from the discovery and naming of Uranus to its unique features like its tilted axis and unusual magnetic field. We also discussed its many moons and rings, as well as ongoing research and discoveries related to Uranus. Finally, we touched on the importance of studying Uranus, not only for the sake of understanding our solar system, but also for the potential insights it may provide into the formation and evolution of planets in other systems. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. If you did, please consider liking and commenting below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more science content. Thank you for watching.